Has it been long enough for me to say that this was a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad series finale? No? Well, too bad, I'm saying it anyway. Series finales are, well, they're tough. They're very tough. Let me give the Amazing Digital Circus its flowers really quickly. 1, I really liked the animation. It got better as the series went along. 2, the lore definitely kept me interested. I mean, like during those first few episodes, but it was still very entertaining. And 3, the character designs were really good. Then again, I don't know much about character designs. You were looking at somebody who was a comms major and not an art one, so take that with a grain of salt. All that being said, the ending left a lot to be desired. About that lore that kept me interested, yeah, what happened to it? What, am I supposed to just like not care about it anymore? Just keep it pushing after 3 years, almost 3 years of dedicating myself to the show? What was the point? And I think that is the question that plagues every single bad series finale. Like I said, the Amazing Digital Circus isn't awful, the ending is. And for some people, that just ruins the entire experience of the show. Why? Because endings weigh more. The beginning and the middle are important too, but for some, the ending is the end-all, be-all. Pun intended. Look at Tokyo Revengers. Even with 80 million copies sold, everyone still calls the entire series trash just because the finale was garbage. We never say, nah, the beginning was good, it's the ending that was bad for that series. It's always, it was trash from the start. Endings hold massive power over how folks perceive your work. Think about it, it is the last emotional investment you get before that thing is gone forever. Or in a corporate sitcom's case, until it gets a spin-off or a reboot. But that's neither here nor there, is it? It's disproportionate. The finale is the shorthand for the entire experience. Obviously, the pressure for things to end well is going to be high, as it should. I'm not one of those people who looks at a show's or a book's finale and judges the entire series based off of how it ends, depending on how it was written. Things where there's no overarching mystery to solve, no long-running narratives to pay off, and nothing's asking me to invest beyond having a good time. If that ending is a little messy, I'm probably not gonna lose sleep over it because like that's not what I really came for. Where you lose me is when you have a piece of media that does have all of that. The lore, the narrative, the storylines, and you don't hit most of what you told me to care about. Notice how I said most and not all, because sometimes you have a storyline that just doesn't work or it's boring and people just don't really care. But if you're missing core beats, then I'm stuck asking that dreaded question that I mentioned earlier. What was the point? That question, to me, should only pop up twice throughout the show, movie, book, manga, whatever. At the beginning, when you're setting things up, and in the middle, when stakes are high and characters are changing. Never, and I mean never, should it be after your work is already over. Unless you're doing a sequel, but that is a different story. If your audience is left with that specific question, what was the point? It means that your story failed to deliver on what it spent time building towards. I'm leaving your work feeling like I invested my time into something hollow, which isn't cute because I don't like wasting my time. Like I trusted you and you let me down. I don't know. Maybe that's why endings are like the end-all be-all for some people, because of the amount of trust that they put into the creator, not because their theories didn't become canon, which is an argument that I've been hearing about the Amazing Digital Circus, and I just feel like that's just completely not true. But moving forward, after all, the relationship between the creator and their audience is one centered around trust. Creators, whether they mean to or not, whether they like it or not, make promises to their audience. That promise being that they'll do their best to honor the things they made important to their stories. They're asking us to trust them. And we do, we trust their vision, we trust the process. While we know that we may not get everything that we want, at least some of us know that we may not get everything that we want, and that there are small promises that won't be kept, we trust that the core ones always will be. That's why we invest our time. We stick with them for so long because we want to see that trusted vision come to fruition. The story is the promise being made. The payoff or the conclusion is the promise being kept. That's how I like to look at it. Now, and this is where I start side-eyeing Gooseworks, so if you're not into that, you can click on off. That's okay, I don't mind. Gooseworks broke her promise. She did, she broke her promise. There were plenty of times in the Amazing Digital Circus where we were told, hey, pay attention to this is important. And then like nothing happens with it. Like Kinger's wife making it out of the circus in general. What happened to Bubble in the series finale? Like where'd they go? Kane, didn't he get deleted in episode 8? But like there he is in episode 9. So like I don't really understand that. And anyway, Gooseworks asked us to trust her. And I did. I trusted her completely. And what did I get for it? A finale where the main payoff is settled not even 5 minutes into the episode, leaving the rest of the episode irrelevant. Now I'm stuck sitting there watching Pomni wave goodbye with my jaw on the ground, confused and asking, what was the point? Like there wasn't one. She broke her promise and I wasted my time. So now, and I'm gonna say something controversial yet brave, I don't trust Gooseworks as a storyteller. I don't. I'm gonna zoom in real quick while I beg for this. Amazing Digital Circus fans, please do not kill me, okay? Like I said, overall, I think the series is really good in a way. It has its ups and it has its downs. The finale is just a major down. No one likes a promise breaker. And once you've broken one, who's to say that you won't break another one? Doing that affects how we as the audience views a creator going forward. I trusted Gooseworks to take me somewhere. I truly believe that the things she spent time setting up would have a reason for being there. And when I walked away from the finale feeling like those promises weren't fulfilled because they weren't, it changed the way I viewed her as a storyteller. Because now, when I look at her next work, if, and that's a heavy if, because I decide to look at her next work, I'm gonna be looking over my shoulder the whole time thinking like, where's this going? Is she gonna waste my time again? And I know that that's a very harsh way to look at a creator. Put those pitchforks down. I get it, okay? I understand. And I know that storytelling isn't simple, and I'm not saying that I could do better myself. Or am I? I'm not. But, you know, I understand that it's nuanced. You know, there are like things beyond the creator's control, producers, showrunners, editors, episode and chapter limits, and things within the creator's control, like having the plot but not prepping the ending, or the story getting stretched longer than originally envisioned because of a creative breakthrough or something. There are a lot of moving pieces to sticking the landing. But just because I can understand something doesn't mean that I have to like it. That's one of my favorite phrases to say. And in instances like this, creating a satisfying ending is more important than explaining the reason why things went wrong. As a writer myself, bet you couldn't tell, I've dealt with the struggle of bringing things to a proper ending. I know how hard it is. I know that it's difficult to make something that everybody is content with, which that's just not possible. There's always going to be somebody who hates what you did at the end, even if majority of your fans love it. But endings carry so much weight for a story, and I would absolutely hate it if somebody walked away from something that I wrote frustrated because I didn't bring things to a proper end, because I broke my promise. If I'm asking someone to spend hours with something I created, the least I can do is make those hours feel like they were worth it. So to keep that trust between creator and audience, that's what we have to do. Hit as many core elements that we can and try our best to bring things to their natural, most satisfying conclusions. Let's keep our promises. Let's not waste anybody's time. And please, oh please, do not have your fans out there screaming, what was the point, at the top of their lungs. Make the payoff worth something. And maybe don't go answering questions off to the side on Tumblr of all places, Gooseworks. Just answer them in the freaking show. Like, I'm already watching it. Like, just answer it there. I'm not about to go out of my way to read all that. Okay, stick a fork in me. Hopefully I stuck the landing on this one. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. That was barely a wink. Check out my socials, linked below, and check out my other videos as well. I am AJ, the end all be all on how all things should end for this week. Try saying that 10 times fast. And I will see you next time. Bye.